Breaking news tonight, a federal judge has sharply rebuked the Department of Justice after what the court described as an unjustified emergency filing, tied to a Trump-related case, triggering a legal firestorm inside the courtroom and raising serious questions about credibility, urgency, and abuse of process. What unfolded today was not a routine procedural dispute. According to court observers and legal analysts reviewing the hearing, the judge openly challenged the DOJ's claims that immediate emergency action was necessary, and in doing so, delivered one of the most pointed bench critiques seen in this case so far. Let's walk through exactly what happened. The hearing was convened after DOJ attorneys filed what they labeled an emergency motion, arguing that immediate judicial intervention was required to prevent alleged harm connected to former President Donald Trump's legal posture. Emergency filings are rare, serious, and reserved for situations involving imminent, irreversible damage. That's why what happened next stunned the courtroom. From the bench, the judge began methodically dismantling the DOJ's argument, questioning not just the substance of the filing, but the very justification for calling it an emergency at all. According to multiple reporters present, the judge asked a simple but devastating question. If this was truly an emergency, why did the government wait? That question set the tone. The judge went on to note that the DOJ had been aware of the underlying issue for weeks, yet only sought emergency relief at the last moment, a delay that, in the court's view, directly contradicted the government's claims of urgency. Legal analysts say this matters deeply. Courts rely on trust. When the government invokes emergency authority, judges expect absolute candor. Any hint that the label was used strategically rather than out of necessity can severely damage credibility. And that's exactly what the judge appeared to suggest. According to courtroom transcripts reviewed by legal commentators, the judge described the filing as unsupported by the record, procedurally questionable, and wholly unconvincing as an emergency matter. At one point, the judge reportedly stated that the court would not allow the emergency process to be used as a litigation shortcut. That line landed hard. Observers say DOJ attorneys appeared visibly strained as the judge continued pressing them on specifics, asking for concrete evidence of immediate harm, timelines showing urgency, and explanations for why standard procedures were bypassed. The answers, according to analysts, did not satisfy the court. One former federal prosecutor watching the hearing explained it this way. When a judge starts questioning the government's credibility, you're already in dangerous territory. When they openly reject an emergency claim, that's worse. The judge ultimately denied the emergency request, but the ruling went far beyond a simple denial. In a sharply worded oral ruling, the court warned that mischaracterizing filings as emergencies undermines the integrity of the judicial system and burdens the court unnecessarily. While the judge stopped short of imposing sanctions, the message was unmistakable. This was a public reprimand. And because the case involves Donald Trump, the implications are magnified. Trump's legal team seized on the moment immediately, arguing that the ruling exposed what they called a pattern of overreach and exaggeration by federal prosecutors. Outside the courtroom, Trump allies framed the judge's remarks as proof that the DOJ is stretching procedural rules to gain advantage. The DOJ, for its part, pushed back after the hearing, issuing a brief statement defending its actions and maintaining that it acted in good faith based on the information available at the time. But notably, the department did not dispute the judge's characterization of the filing timeline. That silence is drawing attention. Legal scholars say this episode could have ripple effects going forward. Judges remember credibility issues. When future motions are filed, especially urgent ones, this ruling may influence how skeptically they're received. One constitutional law expert put it bluntly, emergency motions are like pulling a fire alarm. If you pull it without a fire, people stop trusting you. Politically, the optics are explosive. For critics of the DOJ, the judge's remarks fuel claims of aggressive prosecution tactics. For supporters of accountability, the ruling underscores the importance of judicial oversight even when the government is involved. And for Trump, the moment adds another layer to his broader legal narrative, one where courts, not commentators, are increasingly shaping the story. It's also a reminder of something fundamental. Judges are not political actors. Their power lies in procedure, precedent, and credibility. When a judge openly challenges the government's use of emergency authority, it's not theater, it's a warning. As this case continues, both sides now move forward under sharper scrutiny. The DOJ must rebuild trust with the court. Trump's team will almost certainly cite this ruling in future filings. And legal observers will be watching closely to see whether this marks a turning point in how aggressively prosecutors proceed. One thing is clear tonight. The word emergency just lost its force in this courtroom, and the consequences of that may echo far beyond this single hearing.